So welcome everyone to our Thursday night travel talk by Expedia Cruises. Tonight, our special guest is Kim Lucy from Viking Cruises. Everyone on the call is muted. You do have control if you want your video on or off. We don't care if you're in your pajamas. We'd love to see your faces. It's been a long time since we really interact with people. So if you feel comfortable putting your camera on, we'd love to have that. There is a chat feature. If you have any questions, please enter them in the chat box and we will answer them after the presentation. So my name is Lisa Antflick. I'm one of the consultants at Expedia Cruises, and our travel talks are being hosted by the 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area. Unbelievable. It's been almost 2 years since the world changed. If you're on this call, I know you love to travel. Travel fulfills us. That's why we do it. And if you're like me, you are missing it. At this time, we are all concerned about safety and health. Over the past few weeks, we've been seeing our numbers of COVID dropping, restrictions being lifted. People are choosing to travel, and cruising is one of the safest ways to travel. Cruises are sailing today. They've been sailing basically since last summer with the highest levels of COVID mitigation of any industry. Cruise lines are leading the way with stringent health and safety measures. COVID safety protocols include incorporating testing, vaccines, screening, sanitation, enhanced ventilation, optional mask wearing, physical distancing, and other proven public health measures that make sure that you'll be able to return to a healthy way of sailing. In January, I personally went on my first cruise since May of 2019, and I can tell you I felt very, very safe on the ship. What we found is the positivity rates on cruises is less than 1%, which is much lower than in most cities at this time. There is a difference between traveling right now and also planning your future travel. If you feel comfortable traveling, we'd love to get you booked. If you don't feel comfortable right now, that's fine, but truly it is the right time to plan. Studies have shown that approximately 40% of the pleasure of a trip comes from planning one. At Expedia Cruises, we've had many clients sail recently. They've come back with raving reviews. They're thrilled to get back on board and have the wonderful experience that only a cruise ship can provide. Travel is definitely a little bit more complex nowadays. Now more than ever, the professional advice of a travel consultant is needed. And our consultants are here to help you navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. I always am amazed when people say they book their own travel. I could do things on my own, such as my taxes, but I prefer to leave it to the professional. And I think when it comes to travel, I encourage you to all come to the professionals. When you book with a travel agent, you will receive our expertise. And there are hundreds of different cruise ships and cruise lines, and a travel agent can help you book the right one for you. You're never going to pay any less booking directly with the cruise line, and many times we can get better pricing. At Expedia, we block group spaces on many cruises, and we can offer you those better pricing as well as amenities such as shipboard credits that booking directly with the cruise line will not get you. We have information on passports, visas, entry requirements, and COVID protocols. And we are also there to assist you in emergencies. We definitely have your back. So we are committed to helping you find the best value of your travel dollars. We are more than just cruises. Our name is Expedia Cruises Air, Land, and Sea Vacation. And we can help you plan all the components of a vacation. Best of all, we are in your neighborhood so you can shop local. The past 2 years have been challenging for many of us. And something that always makes me smile is the thought of where do I want to go next? The bucket list has become the to-do list. Time has passed, and it's time to start thinking about the travel that we want to make up for. Whatever your dreams are, our Expedia Cruises consultants can help make them come true. So without further ado, I want to introduce our special guest this evening, Kim Lucy from Viking Cruises. Sit back and relax, and let's explore the world of Viking. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm so inspired by your presentation, your introduction. I just want to book. And actually, I want to call my travel agent so I can book, because I don't even know where to decide where to send myself right now. There's so many wonderful places to go and to see just with our product, but I know there's lots of other places on my bucket list as well. So maybe I'll be in touch soon. So tonight, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time out tonight. Hopefully you've got a glass of wine in hand or something else that you can enjoy. And I hope that you'll come and dream with me today and hopefully plan for the future, as Lisa said. So we are going to explore the world of Viking. I'm going to take you on a journey that's going to include our river ships, our ocean ships, and I'm also going to tease you a little bit with two new products that are joining our fleet this year. Expedition that takes you to the far reaches of the earth and closer to home, and also our Mississippi ships that have our first ship is now in the water and she's doing her sea trials or her river trials, I guess, and I'll share a little bit about that as well. So let's get started. Now, maybe you're like me. A lot of people know Viking for being a river cruise line. We're one of the largest river cruise lines in the world and in the industry. We have 80 river ships that sail around the world, but that's not all we do. We literally can take you all the way around the world, and we also are more than a one-stop shop. You can plan and book ocean, river, expedition, and Mississippi. You can travel to 7 continents, 95 countries. You can sail on 5 oceans, 20 rivers, and even 5 Great Lakes. And if you're like me, you've got a list a mile long because you haven't really been able to travel for 2 years. My bucket list definitely includes a lot of these ports of call that you see here, and we can take you to about 403 of those. So I hope that I can inspire you tonight and maybe fulfill some of those bucket lists. Now, Viking, as I mentioned, is not just a river cruise line anymore. We're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. We started in the river industry in 1997. And we started in Russia. Now, I realize that Russia is kind of a bad word right now, but that is where our roots are. That's where our owner was able to establish the first of the river cruise lines, simply because the people were curious about what was behind the Iron Curtain. And so we expanded our fleet after that, and we now sail around the world. As I mentioned, we have 80 river ships. We have 10 ocean ships, 2 expedition ships, and we also have 1 Mississippi ship that is joining our fleet and beginning that fleet of ships that will be coming in the future. But the one thing that stands out with all of our products is that they're small and intimate. They range from 99, actually less than that, 30 to 50 guests, up to 930 guests on our ocean ships. Our river ships that sail in Europe are the ones that you see on the bottom, in that bottom photograph. Those are our long ships, and they're about 190 guests. Up above is our beautiful ocean ships. They are 930 guests. They're all verandas, and they're under 50,000 tons, so they're easily able to dock right in the heart of the destination. And that's one of the things that you'll find with small ship cruising, whether it's on river or ocean. It allows you more time in your port of call, less time getting there, and that ease of access to be able to step off right in the heart of the destination, no matter how you travel. And the other thing that Viking does is our ships are identical. And so it doesn't really matter. You'll be feeling comfortable and at home from ship to ship. The decor is similar. The experience is similar from product to product as well. And our ships are built with the latest green technology. They have hybrid engines. They have solar panels. They have the latest environmental equipment needed to reach the standards. And with our new expedition ship, we've added even more environmental equipment that allows us not to disturb any of the sensitive environment that we're sailing in and over in those ports of call. So you've got 4 choices. You've got the river and ocean, as you see. You've got our beautiful Mississippi ship and our beautiful expedition ships that are joining our fleet as well this year. So inside, you'll see that similar Scandinavian decor, the big open windows, lots and lots of light, natural fabrics, calm colors, lots of natural stone and wood throughout, beautiful artwork, light-filled spaces, and what I always like to say are surprises. I love to walk around our ships because every time I turn around, there's something I never noticed before. And I've cruised a lot on Viking, obviously. There are little things like little gardens that are tucked, for example, underneath that staircase that you see in that in our ocean lobby area or our living room. You've got incredible stories about the Viking heritage, as well as little personal touches from the family. Now, Viking is owned by one gentleman. His name is Tor Hagen, and he owns the majority of the shares in the company. We do have two investors. One of them is a large financial investment company in the States, and the other is the Canadian Pension Plan. And during COVID, they actually came to us and were so happy with the way that we had managed things through the pandemic that they actually had asked to buy more shares. So they invested a little bit more in the company as well. So we're happy to have those partners, but the majority of the company is owned by one gentleman who's very, very involved. And a lot of the little touches that you see around our ship come from his personal taste. He loves the Beatles, so you'll see stuff like that. But he also has spent some time thinking about what our clients really like. Little details like the size of the amenities in the bathrooms and the size of the print on the amenities in the bathrooms. Because as we get older, you know, you don't always have your glasses on when you're in the shower. And sometimes it's hard to tell if you're putting a hair conditioner on or shower gel. So that was one of his big things. So he's a bit of a character, and we love the fact that he's so involved with what we do. Now, our staterooms are also beautifully appointed. At the top, you see our French balcony staterooms on our river ships. We also have 5 different categories on river ships. They range from standard to the French balcony to a full veranda, similar to what you may be familiar with when you're on an ocean ship. We also have 2-room suites like you would find in a beautiful hotel, as well as our Explorer suites. And with our ocean ships down below, that's our standard stateroom. Every single stateroom has a balcony. Every single stateroom has a sitting area. They have all of our staterooms and on all of our products include beautiful bathrooms with heated tile floors and big square glass showers and lovely amenities throughout. So you'll find those elegant touches throughout the ships. If you'd like to learn more, talk to your travel advisor with Expedia, and they'll be able to share our 360-degree tours, as well as some really lovely videos that will walk you through our ships as well. But tonight I wanted to spend a bit more time on the experience, but also the ports of call and destinations that we visit. Because I don't know about you, I'm much more about the experience than I am about the hardware. I love great hardware, but I also love to get off and touch and taste and feel the experience in the destination as well. So we're not going to let you go hungry, but we also are going to give you the opportunity to enjoy some of the local cuisine. Our menus offer a great variety, including special menus that feature the ports of call that we visit. So if you want to try some of the local cuisine, you can do that. And we also have a changing menu every evening that includes a meat, a fish, and a vegetarian entree. And we also have our always or salad, chicken, and salmon, what I call comfort food. So sometimes wonderful choices, and we offer both casual and more casual as well as more formal dining opportunities. Now, the other thing I love is, as I mentioned, I love to touch and taste and feel and truly immerse myself in the destination. And that is something that Viking takes very seriously as well. We know our clients love to learn, they love to explore, and they love to meet the people in the destinations that we visit. So we've built our shore excursion programs around what we call the Viking way of exploration. So maybe you're like me. Maybe you like to peek in people's houses. Maybe you like to go to the market. Maybe you love to cook. I know Lisa has a wonderful friend who's a great chef, and I've been watching him on Facebook and wanting very much to get off and explore a bit on my own. So we have things like home visits where you can meet local families. You can also go to the market with the chef and take a cooking class. You might want to learn a little bit about the lifestyle of the people that the places that we visit. Working World gives you a chance to learn about the economy. So maybe you're a car lover. You might enjoy going to the BMW or the Mercedes factory along the rivers of Europe. Maybe you'd like to go and learn about the brandy industry, as I did. I got to go to Cognac, and I got to learn about the brandy industry and all the grapes that go into creating those wonderful blends, but also to work with a sommelier, a master cognac blender, to be able to create my own special blend, to bottle it and to bring it home. And I can even reorder it if I want to. So these are experiences that you have available to you. You might want to learn about the tulip industry, or maybe you'd like to go and learn about the wine industry or the olive oil industry. These are all options that we have through Working World. And then, of course, privileged access pulls back the curtain and gives you a chance to see things that are not always viable, things that might not be available to every tourist that's traveling. Maybe you love music, as I do, and here you can see the Viennese Boys Choir. We do give you the opportunity to experience a concert, but we also have a partnership with the Viennese Boys Choir that gives our guests the chance to meet them personally and to go in to their residence and to sit in on one of the rehearsals and also enjoy a performance. What I loved when I went is that there are 100 boys. They range from 8 to 13, and they come from all over the world. And when I was there, I did this experience. One of the boys was from Calgary. He was one of the lead sopranos. And it was so much fun to be able to talk with him and to realize that we're not so different. That our world is not as big as we may think it is. So we have wonderful things like behind the scenes at the Hermitage. We have a chance to go behind the scenes at the Swedish Opera and maybe even meet the ghost that lives there. So there's lots of fun experiences that we offer. So talk to your travel advisor at Expedia, and they'll be able to help you choose some of the perfect things for your interests. Now, what do we include? What I love most about small ship cruising, in particular river cruising, is that we include virtually everything. We are not 100% all-inclusive. And the reason we do that is because we don't want to charge people for things that they don't use. You may be like me, you like to get off during the day and you like to have lunch in ports of call. And so I don't want to pay for an all-inclusive beverage package when I'm off the ship during the day on most of the ports of call, and I don't want to pay for other people that are not. So I prefer to to enjoy the included beer and wine that are included with the meals. So we include a shore excursion in each port of call. We include all the onboard meals, of course. We have alternate restaurants that are complimentary on our ocean ships. We have several different alternate restaurants on our river ships. We have a casual dining as well as a more formal dining experience. We include the beer, wine, and soft drinks with meals. We also include specialty coffees and teas, bottled water, Wi-Fi. Beautiful 4- and 5-star hotels are used for the pre and post and some of the cruise tour programs. In-room entertainment is included, and you don't have to look in the fine print for extra costs. Everything that you see is included with Viking. Now, you might be asking, what don't we include? So we don't include soft drinks and alcohol between meals. The reason we gave you the reasons why we don't, but we also do have a beverage package that can be added at a very reasonable price with your travel advisor. It runs about $25 per person per day, but we also have a no corkage policy. So if you would like to bring some local wine or beer, or you'd like to bring some duty-free with you, by all means, we have no limits. We don't search your luggage. We don't store it for 7 days and give it back to you. We believe that you're adults and you should enjoy the experience to the fullest. So by all means, feel free. We don't have any limits and no charges. We also don't include optional tours. So if you want to dig a little deeper into the destination that we're visiting, you have special interests, we do have specially curated optional tours that you can add to your tour. If you choose just to do the included tours, you will still get to see all of the highlights and you will not miss anything. So maybe you like a little more freedom. That's why we give you that choice. And then we also don't include gratuities. Gratuities are discretionary. You can prepay them. But we do add them to the onboard account. You can make adjustments once you're on board with no problems. But we hope that you'll enjoy the service and you'll feel that it's well worth it. So that gives you an idea of what we include. Now, let me also wrap up with just a little bit of information about health and safety, because I know that that's foremost in most people's minds, and it certainly was with mine when I sailed. I did both a river and ocean cruising in November and December, and I will tell you, I felt safer on board than I did in my own community. And probably even still today, feel more safe. We at Viking, all of our staff is fully vaccinated and they've received their boosters if eligible. We ask that all of our guests are fully vaccinated, and if they are eligible for the booster, we encourage them to have that as well. We have a mask policy on board right now. These are all changing, of course, depending on where we go and what the requirements are for the countries, plus the CDC and the WHO sets those regulations that we follow. We also test. We have a PCR lab on our ocean ships and our expedition ships, and that same company that runs the PCR labs also has labs along the rivers of Europe. So we do a non-invasive saliva test every single day. It's a spit test. It takes less than 30 seconds, and we test to make sure that everybody is COVID-free. We've had no COVID outbreaks on our ships. We've had, and we also do temperature checks, and we also do a health survey every day. So it's very easy to do, and you feel very safe, and it's non-invasive. I truly felt like I was on a cruise pre-pandemic, with the exception of those little things that we're used to doing at home anyway. Our crew, once they get off the ship, it has to adhere to the very same standards. So I encourage you to talk with your travel advisor, because we send out very detailed checklists. We also send tons and tons of information, so you can explore and learn as much as possible, and also know that these are constantly changing based on what is happening in the world as well. So let's explore a little bit. Let's start with river. I wanted to start with a map. Here you can see where we travel by river, and also you can see where those river systems are. I know I came from, my background was ocean cruising, and I had cruised all along the outside of all of these countries, which is what you do with ocean. And it never occurred to me that I could cruise through the heart of Europe. But look at this amazing river system that runs from Amsterdam down the Rhine, over the Main-Danube Canal system, through a series of 40 to 60 locks, connecting with the Danube that takes you all the way down to the Black Sea. We actually have a 23-day, 8-country trip that will take you the full length of Europe if you like, or you can break it into smaller pieces: Eastern Europe, the Danube area, the Middle Rhine, and also all the way down to Switzerland from Amsterdam. We also we have 4 different itineraries in France, as well as Portugal. Now, we have been traveling to Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, those are on hold at this point. We don't know what the future looks like there. So we've canceled our cruises for 2022, and 2023 right now is on hold for river. Now, we also go to Vietnam and Cambodia, Egypt, and we also are sailing on the Mississippi. So I thought I'd start with what people ask me all the time. What should I do? I'm a first-time river cruiser. Where should I go? So my favorite for first-time cruisers, if you are only going for a short time, maybe you're a little worried about being on the ship for too long, is the Rhine Getaway. I love the Rhine Getaway because it is, the Rhine Getaway is fantastic because it's 4 countries. They're very distinctly different. Different cultures, different languages, different histories even. And you really get a sense of Europe. You get castles, you get palaces, you get wine, you get music, you get cathedrals, and you get those 4 very distinctly different countries. Another favorite is the romantic Danube. This is the one I did my first cruise on. And by the way, the Rhine Getaway, if you're looking for a Christmas market cruise, is my favorite. Romantic Danube is also great. This one travels between Regensburg and Budapest, and it gives you a taste of Germany as well as Austria, a little bit of Slovakia, and into Hungary. This one really gives you some of the most beautiful, iconic cities, places like Budapest and Vienna, and the little medieval cities along the river. But if you like to put them all together, the Grand European Tour for 15 days and 4 different countries is our most popular. About 50% of our clients take this one first. It truly takes you through the heart of Europe. And even if you've cruised before, or you've been to Europe before, as I have, I got to see places that I never went to. Because let's face it, when we go to Europe on a coach, a car, or by plane, we tend to go from one big city to another big city, and we don't take the time to wander off the beaten track. And that's what river cruising gives you, is that opportunity to explore these highways that have been active for trade and people movement for many, many centuries. So I thought I'd just highlight a few of my favorite spots to give you a taste of what it's like on the Grand European. This is Amsterdam. It's a fantastic city to depart from, but I also encourage you to come a little bit earlier if you have the time, or stay a little bit later. There's much to see here. You can see the beautiful canals, the bridges. It has more bicycles than cars than any other city in the world. It also has more museums per square mile than any other city in the world, with some of the best art galleries like the Rijksmuseum, the Van Gogh Museum. It also has Anne Frank House, which is where the family was hidden, and Anne wrote her diaries that are so poignant if you've ever read them. There's also just masses of things for you to do here as well. Now, if you don't have time, you'll be able to go out. You'll arrive in the afternoon. We dock right in the heart of the city near the main train station. So within 5 minutes, you're in the heart of the old city of Amsterdam. And our program director will take you out on a walk if you want to stretch your legs after dinner. He'll take you into the old city and probably do a little loop through the red light district, just to give you a little spice for the rest of your night. And then we set sail. We visit some of the heritage, World UNESCO heritage sites in Holland before we move on to this wonderful city of Cologne. Cologne is known for the cathedral that you see there, called the Dome. It's the largest Gothic cathedral in Europe and one of the oldest. And you can see where our ships dock. We dock right in the heart of the city. You literally step off in 5 minutes, you're right in the heart of the old part of Cologne, which is right in front of the cathedral. It's right across the street is the old medieval section of the city that's been rebuilt, and it's filled with great beer gardens and little restaurants and wine bars. But you'll have a chance to walk with our guides, who will meet you right here on the dock, and they'll walk you through this 2,000-year-old city with a great Roman history and even archaeological sites that you'll see on your walk. And you'll have a chance to go into the cathedral, which is spectacular. And when I talked about the privileged access, one of the really fun privileged accesses that we have, if you're not afraid of heights, is to go up the outside elevator where with the workmen and the restorers of the cathedral. It's under constant restoration, and you get to go up into the inside of the cathedral, into the vaulted ceiling, and out onto the roof where the gargoyles are. The view is spectacular, but to be able to go in and see how these cathedrals are built, it took over 1,000 years to build this one. And it was the only building that was left standing pretty much intact after the Allied bombing during the Second World War. From there, we visit some of the small medieval towns like Miltenberg. This is one of the oldest German towns. It dates back to the 11th and 12th centuries, with these beautiful timbered buildings and the little winding streets, cobblestone streets. Really a fun place to try some beer and bratwurst. To try a pretzel, and also to take in one of the specialties of the area, which is glass blowing. And we bring a glass blower right on board the ship, so you'll be able to see that incredible technique that they have. And then we visit Passau. Passau sits on the border between Germany and Austria. And in fact, in the picture on the left-hand or right-hand side, you can see Germany on one side and Austria on the other. The old city is kind of a little bit of an island. It's called the City of Three Rivers: the Ill, the Inns, and the Danube. And you can see the three different colors of the rivers as they come together here. This is also where they track the high water levels of the rivers in Europe. The highest water was in 2013. The highest in 600 years was over 50 feet higher than normal. But it's quite spectacular. The city also is known for this little beautiful white cathedral called St. Stephen's Cathedral, and it houses the largest pipe organ in Europe, and you'll get a chance to enjoy a concert depending on when you come, what time of the year you're there. And then we sailed through the Wachau Valley, which is the castle district of Austria, and here you'll see the little medieval villages, the castle ruins. This is also the wine growing area of Austria as well. So it's a wonderful spot. You can bike. We have active experiences. You can bike, you can hike, you can kayak even in some of the places that we visit, and I've done all of those. And then you get to visit my favorite city, Vienna. Vienna is a spectacular city that dates back to the Middle Ages. And what we're looking at is the Hofburg Palace. That was the home of the Austro-Hungarian emperors and empresses for over 700 years. And it's actually an architectural masterpiece featuring, I think, 6 different types of architecture that span those 7 centuries. It now doesn't house any royalty, but it is the home of the Lipizan Stallions and the Viennese Boys Choir, as well as some amazing museums. This is a wonderful city, of course, infused with music of Mozart and Strauss. We have concerts available to you. You can learn about Klimt, who was a famous artist from Vienna. You can go behind the scenes to meet the Lipizan Stallions. You can take a walk with the chef to the market and learn about some of the local flavors. And you can also meet the Viennese Boys Choir. And then we also have a Mozart and Strauss concert. Or one of the fun things that I did here was to go and explore, enjoy a Hurrigan evening, which is visiting the local Viennese tradition, which is the wine in the wine area of Vienna. It's fantastic. And then on to Budapest, which is one of the most beautiful cities, beautifully lit cities. And here's a perfect example. You can see the chain bridge, the parliament buildings. We're looking down from the Buda Castle. So we spend overnight here, so you've got a full day and a half to explore. And it truly is a masterpiece filled with amazing history. And one of my favorite cities that I think has evolved and has a long, rich history. If you're interested in wine, so that gives you a little bit of a taste of some of the highlights. But I know that maybe some of you have already done that, and maybe you'd like to see some other things. So if you're a wine lover, as I know I am, and I know Lisa, and I know many of the franchise partners with Expedia are, we have some great tours. Chateaus, Rivers, and Wines takes you into Bordeaux. It's truly a feast for people who love food and wine. You'll get to explore some of the great wineries of Saint-Emilion, of the Rothschilds. You'll get to go to Sauternes and taste the fantastic Sauternes wine. You can go to Cognac and learn about brandy. You can go to Arcachon and taste the incredible oysters. Or maybe you'd like to travel through the southern part of France, which is the Burgundy and Beaujolais and the rosé wines of Provence. And Lyon, of course, is a culinary center. And some of the small villages like Tournon and Viviers have some of the most amazing Roman ruins of its time. And then, of course, Arles and Avignon, Arles, where Van Gogh spent the last few years of his life and painted many of his masterpieces. If you're interested, you can combine France and parts of Germany and some of the other areas with our cities, Paris to the Swiss Alps. And this one, you have hotels at either end in Paris and in Zurich. And you also get to travel along the incredible Moselle and the Rhine rivers, known for the beautiful white wines of this area, not to mention a stop in Rennes, which is the champagne capital of France. And then also, if you'd like to wrap things up with the stop in Portugal for the port wine, we do an overnight in Lisbon and then onward up to Porto, where we spend 7 nights cruising through the Douro River Valley. Absolutely spectacular. And you'll get to learn all about the port wine from this area. Now, if you love history, we have lots to offer. We have Paris in the heart of Normandy, which takes you out not only to Paris, which you see there, and we dock right by the Eiffel Tower, but this also is known for Paris being a museum of its own, but we also stop in Giverny, which is where Claude Monet painted many of his masterpieces, to Rouen, where Joan of Arc was condemned and burned at the stake. And then we spend a full day at the Normandy beaches. So you can either go on the Commonwealth tour that will take you to the Canadian and British beaches and cemeteries and monuments as well, or you can go to the US Omaha Beach landing site with its 10,000 white crosses. Remarkably moving experience. One of the new itineraries we just introduced for 2023 is one that I think is going to be one of my new favorites. And this one leaves from Vienna and goes all the way to Budapest or Bucharest. So you actually have that extra time in Vienna and Budapest. I often find that I feel shorted in time when I want to explore. And this is a spectacular itinerary. It's really taken off. So if this interests you, I recommend don't wait too long because it has been super, super popular. Fantastic itinerary. We also do Passage to Eastern Europe that is kind of an extension of the Grand European. It starts off in either Bucharest or Budapest, and you travel along the lower part of the Danube. It's fantastic. It takes you through the Iron Gate. It takes you into Serbia and Hungary and Croatia. You get a chance to see a bit more of what was behind the Iron Curtain. And then the European sojourn combines all of that together. This is the one I mentioned. It was 23 days, 8 countries, that takes you all the way from Amsterdam all the way to Bucharest. So great way to see all of Europe in one fell swoop. And if you don't want to get off after 15 days, this is the answer to your requests. Now, for those of you who like to get off the beaten track, as I do, these are 2 itineraries that I absolutely loved. Pharaohs and Pyramids is a voyage along the Nile, but includes 3 nights in Cairo as well. It's a fantastic experience. You really get to step back in time 5,000 years to see some of these incredible temples and also visit Cairo. We have extensions that also go to Petra and Jordan, if you would like, as well as to Jerusalem. So talk to your advisor if you want to build a really fantastic trip that will take you into this very deep history of the middle of this section. We also go to Vietnam and Cambodia, and I fell in love with Vietnam so much so that I went back twice. I love this itinerary, and this is unique because many of our competitors in this market do not go to the northern part of Vietnam as part of their included experience. Viking starts off in either Hanoi or in Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City, and you get to see both the north and the south. We aren't just limited to the southern part of Vietnam. And I think that's really important from my own personal experience. The history is quite different. The experience is different. Even the people look a little bit different, not to mention the dialects. Even the food is a bit different. So it's a remarkable trip if you want to see a different kind of life. The people there are so friendly and the history is remarkable. It's not just about the Vietnam War, which we are all familiar with. It's about 1,000+ years of history. One of the most powerful and amazing empires in Southeast Asia, the Khmer Empire that built the incredible temples at Siem Reap in Cambodia, not to mention the history of modern day world as well. So fantastic small ships, brand new ships in both of these markets that are coming out this year. Now, I also wanted to tease you a bit with Mississippi. I'm only going to tease you because Mississippi is quite full already. It's a small ship, 378 passengers. It's on its float out right now, and it looks just like that picture. It is a hybrid, a combination of our river and ocean ships, all verandas, lots and lots of outdoor deck space, no paddle wheel. It's a modern Mississippi experience. And it has some fantastic itineraries. I'm not going to go into what the ships look like inside. They look very similar to our other ships, river and ocean that I showed you earlier. But what I want to talk about briefly is the itinerary. We have 5 different itineraries. We have the southern in the winter. We stay south, New Orleans round trip that goes up to Vicksburg. And you get to see these small, really unique and beautiful small town American or small American towns like Natchez and St. Francisville and Baton Rouge, which is the capital of Louisiana. It is spectacular and small and intimate, and you get extra time in New Orleans, and who can argue with that? as the weather improves, we move a little bit further north and we run one ways between New Orleans and Memphis. Memphis, of course, the home of Graceland, the home of Elvis, the home of the civil rights movement, and also great barbecue and wonderful blues. And then from there, we go in the summer, we move north to St. Louis and sail between St. Louis and St. Paul, stopping in Hannibal, the home of Mark Twain. The Quad Cities, for those of you that are part of the farming community or farming heritage, as I am, you might recognize the John Deere tractor. This is where it all started. So you can learn all about the history of the John Deere tractor and also go to the John Deere homesteads. And then up into Red Wing and La Crosse and up to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Now, if you'd like to see the full length of the Mississippi, we do have a 15-day cruise that runs the full length. It goes back and forth just in the spring and in the fall because of water levels, but you can see the entire length of the Mississippi. And let me tell you, we didn't expect that to be popular, but it is sold out. I think it's completely sold out right into the late part of 2023. Now, we are coming out a little bit early with this cruise, with this ship, so there might still be 1 or 2 staterooms left for this spring. Check with your travel advisor if you're interested in that. It is pretty amazing to do the full length of the Mississippi. I wanted to now introduce you to our beautiful ocean ships. Now, we took the river cruise experience and rolled it over into ocean. A lot of our guests had come from ocean ships, Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, and they came to river and fell in love with the smallness, the intimacy, the close to the center of the destination, the personal or the more all-inclusive experience. And so we thought we'd just build some ships. Our history actually goes back to Royal Viking Line, one of the first of the luxury ocean cruise companies. So our owner had experience and he wanted to recreate that beautiful brand. So that's what you'll find here and why we've been recognized by Condé Nast and Travel and Leisure as the #1 small ship ocean cruise line for over 5 and 6 years. So the ships are beautiful. They're 930 guests. They're all verandas. And we travel to some of the most beautiful destinations in the world. This is our one of our signature itineraries. It was developed by our owner, who comes from Bergen, and he really wanted to share not just the Baltic, but also the beautiful Scandinavian cities as well. So we start off in Stockholm overnight. We travel through the Baltic, we overnight in St. Petersburg, and we also overnight in Bergen. Now, I'm sure all of you are rapidly, the question is going to pop to mind is, what are you doing this year? Obviously, we're going to be making some changes. We're waiting to see what those changes are going to be for the Viking homelands. But very likely this year we'll be offering just a modified itinerary that doesn't go into the Baltic, likely not Finland and Tallinn, and certainly not St. Petersburg. But we hope that, you know, if things settle down, and we hope they will, that we'll be able to take our guests back into some of those beautiful areas in the future. We also do the Mediterranean, and we sail year round in the Mediterranean, one of the most fabulous places to visit with lots and lots of options. This is one of my favorite itineraries. We overnight in Barcelona, we overnight in Venice, and we travel along the Croatian and the French and Italian Rivieras. And remember, small ships can dock right in the center of the cities. We don't have to be in those big cruise terminals, and we don't have to lose time getting on and off the ship and also getting to and from the center of the city. We're already there. And with these small ships, you can get on and off just like you do on river ships. That was one of the things that I really loved. Also, we don't have a casino on board our ocean ships, so it allows us to sail close to the shore. We don't have to be outside the 20-mile limit, and consequently, it felt more like a river ship experience as well. Here's another itinerary that I absolutely love. This one takes you right into the Holy Land and the cities of antiquities, the islands of Greece, to Cyprus, to Jerusalem and Haifa, and also up into the fantastic city of Rome. We also go to the Caribbean. We've got lots of options for you here. So if you want to stay a little closer to home, we've got these in and out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. And look, it's very port intensive, and we include the tours. And the tours are not necessarily beach flop and drops. They're about the history and the culture. I did some amazing things when I did this itinerary in the fall. And I got to learn about the culture things that I didn't know, even though I've been traveling to the Caribbean for over 30 years. It was fantastic, and I loved it because it was a bit more of a change from what I had experienced in the Caribbean before. We're also going to Alaska on a one-way. So we still have some space in May and June because everything was still so up in the air with Canada. So if you'd like to experience biking and you want to be closer to home, here's a perfect example for you. 11 nights, one way, Vancouver, Seward, with a flight back. And then we're also going to be going back to Australia and New Zealand in the fall. Australia is opening up in June, and we're super excited to be taking guests back into this amazing part of the world. And you can see, again, very port intensive. We spend lots of time in New Zealand, as well as stops in Australia. And then these are designed to connect into Southeast Asia, and Southeast Asia is going to be open again in the fall, and we'll be sailing back into that area. We're also going around the Horn, and we're actually sailing right now around South America. So we have guests that are doing it, and I've done this itinerary. It's fantastic. If you've got going around the Horn as a bucket list item, I can tell you it was pretty exciting to do it. I got lucky with the weather too. It was quite calm. And then if you're confused and you're thinking river, ocean, I'm not sure what I should do, we have put them together for you. So if you want to try both of our products, here's your opportunity. We do a Rhine River cruise from Basel to Amsterdam. And then in Amsterdam, our two ships are going to be in the port at the same time. So we're going to take the guests from river and we're going to put them on ocean. And the ocean guests that want to continue on this journey will switch over to our river ship, and they'll get to go down the Rhine, and we'll go up into Norway. Now, we also combined this fjords and shores with our Grand European tour. So if you want a longer cruise, we do it 22 days, and it goes from Norway all the way through to Budapest, and we go in either direction. These are limited in space because of the size of the river ships. So once again, talk to your travel advisor at Expedia if this is something you're interested in, but I figure why not do it? You get a chance to try both of the amazing products. Now, if you're like me, you've got a bucket list a mile long, and we have a way to fix that. We have world cruises. Our world cruise is actually underway right now. We had to modify the itinerary a little bit, but we have a full ship, 930 guests that are sailing around the world right now as we speak. They'll be coming home in May, and I'm sure they're enjoying themselves. I've heard nothing but great things. In 2023, we have two world cruises going. The first one sold out so fast, we've added the second one. Now, this one has very limited space left, but it is a fantastic opportunity to see the world. If you've got a lot of places on a bucket list, there's no better way to see it than by ship. And I want to just point out that this is not crazy expensive. All included, including business class air, everything included on board the ships, plus additional shipboard credits to cover, spa and shopping and extra shore excursions if you want to add them. It starts at around $60,000 Canadian. It works out to about $850 Canadian per person per day, all in. So keep it in mind. I know a lot of us saved money during the pandemic, and we've got saved ports. It might be the way to solve that problem. And here we've got a variety of experiences in Scandinavia. You can see when I said we have a lot of Mediterranean cruises year round, and don't be afraid to travel off season. The Mediterranean off season in the winter months is beautiful because all the people are gone and it's just the locals, and you don't have to fight to get in and out of all of the wonderful sites that there are to see along the Mediterranean. Lots of options in the Caribbean and Americas. We also have Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia that you can see here. So if you want more information, please talk to your travel advisor and they'll be happy to help you. Oops, I'm skipping around. So I wanted to just lastly, just tease you a little bit with our expedition. We've built these ships specifically for expedition sailing, but they're different. They're a little bit longer and a little bit narrower than most expedition ships, and it provides way more stability. So it's a much smoother ride. The ships are sailing now. We're getting rave reviews on them. Lots and lots of outdoor space. And they have got the latest stabilizers and environmental equipment on board to make sure that we don't disturb this very sensitive area. But the ships are also going to be coming up to Canada and into the Great Lakes. So if you want to sail a little closer to home, I'm going to show you how you can do that. But let's take a look at the Antarctic Explorer for those who may have the the far reaches of the Earth or the polar regions on their list. This one goes in and out of Buenos Aires to Ushuaia. We have a charter that runs between Buenos Aires and Ushuaia, so our guests stay together. And then we spend 6 nights in Antarctica doing a variety of landings. We've got kayaks. We've got complimentary access to our yellow submarines. We've got Zodiacs. And we also have 12-seater rib boats that, for those who maybe not as agile, they can actually board inside our ship, and we release them on a tractor system. So you don't have to get wet. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to feel like you can't go. We want you to explore the world, and we want you to go as far as you want. So we also have closer to home, Niagara and the Great Lakes. We're going to be traveling between Toronto and Milwaukee, going into the Welland Canal and Niagara Falls, Point Pelee into Detroit, Mackinac Island, which is this lovely little 3-mile island in the Great Lakes. And we've got all the fun stuff to do. This is more of a hybrid experience, less expedition. We will be visiting, there's great historical sites. There's 35,000 uninhabited islands in the Great Lakes, and we'll be able to land on a lot of them. So we are also going into Great Lakes Explorer, which is Milwaukee, all the way up into Georgian Bay, making 3 stops in some of the small communities there. We'll be able to also go out and see some of the sunken ships in Lake Superior, including taking our submarines, if the weather's fine, down and hover over the Edmund Fitzgerald. So if you're a Gordon Lightfoot fan and you've heard the story, you might be able to see it. And then the Undiscovered Great Lakes is another great itinerary, Thunder Bay to Milwaukee, more of the US Great Lakes stops. So wonderful options for you locally. And then next year, if you want to do all of the Great Lakes on one cruise, we have a 15-day cruise that visits all of the Great Lakes in one voyage. So we'll give you lots and lots of options. So I just wanted to wrap up really quickly with just some of the offers that we have. On our river and ocean, we are offering some great air deals. One of the things Viking is able to do with our larger fleet is to negotiate with our airline partners for some really great rates. So on some of our longer itineraries, like the Grand European and the European Sojourn, we're offering free air. We also have reduced air on all of our other itineraries. We have on our ocean ships air from $3.99, which is to the Caribbean. And we've got a variety of reduced airfares on a lot of our itineraries for Europe. So please talk to your travel advisor and they'll be able to give you more detail on this. We also have our Explorer sale on the expedition ships. So if you'd like to go to the Great Lakes, we're offering a 2-for-1 deposit. We're offering, if you're a past guest with us, up to $200 per person additional savings. Plus, if you're new to Viking and you want to try our expedition ships, we're offering a $260 per person shipboard credit. So those are offers that are available till the end of the month on our expedition ships for 2022, 2023, and I believe 2024. Now, we also are extending our risk-free guarantee. So if you want to cruise with confidence in 2022, you can. We are offering the option to cancel up to 14 days prior, and you can either choose a voucher for monies paid that will be good for 24 months to rebook, or you can take our standard cancellation policy and file a claim with your insurance provider. So this is available for 2022 bookings only. We hope that we'll be back to more normal by the time we get into 2023. So insurance is something that is absolutely essential. And I know you're in good hands with Expedia. They'll be able to help you with that, but I would definitely not leave home without it. And then finally, I'd like to just offer you a little incentive from us. We're going to offer $100 per person shipboard credit on any of our for any new bookings between now and the 24th of March. It will be on 2022 and 2020 through 2024, so 2022, 23, and 24 sailings for Europe European River and our ocean ships. It's not applicable to Expedition or Mississippi, I'm sorry, and it's not applicable to Southeast Asia or Egypt. It is strictly focused where we have right now the best opportunity for you to travel with the most ships. So I hope that gives you some incentive. I hope it gives you some inspiration, and I hope that you'll come and sail the world in comfort with us. I'm super excited to get back on the water. I've sailed already, and I can't wait to go again. So I'd love to stay and answer some questions for you if you have them. Otherwise, I'm going to turn you back to Lisa and just say thank you for your time tonight. I hope that you're inspired, and I hope that you will talk to your advisor about booking something soon, because I will tell you something, the space is filling up very, very quickly. And that's why we have sailings open all the way into 2024, because guests have got a backed up bucket list and they're ready to go. So don't be left on the dock. Make your plans now, and make your bookings now too. Over to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Kim. Well, you definitely inspired me. There's a few new places that I think I've added to my list.
Yeah.
We do have some questions, Kim, and let's just start. A couple questions. You did mention Viking Cruise, the Great Lakes and the Mississippi. Is there any space for 2022 if somebody wants to get away?
All I can tell you right now is to talk to your travel advisor at Expedia. They will talk to our team, and they will be able to help you. But there's not a lot of space. I know we added those new sailings right at the beginning in June. So there might still be a little bit there because people might not have realized. But I know that, that's not true. I do know that there is a little bit of space if you want to do some sailing in December in around the New Orleans area. We have our Christmas season sailings, holiday sailings. I know there's space in, I think it's through December, a little bit in December, mid-December. There's a Christmas sailing and a New Year's sailing. So if people want to maybe celebrate in New Orleans, it might be a really fun way to do it. It goes all the way up to Graceland, goes up to Memphis. So if you watch Hallmark movies and you've seen Christmas at Graceland, you might want to get in on it. It's really fun. I know there's space on that one, a little bit still.
Excellent. Thank you for letting us know that. Are cruises going in the Danube Rhine? Are they still going in the spring? Everything is still okay? Often people hear about water levels. So, and this is something, weather we cannot control, but is there a better time to go to avoid the water levels?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, there really isn't. It's like, it just depends on what the water gods and the weather gods want to do. I have had high water in the middle of July. I have had high water in November. I've had low water in November. It honestly, Viking has all these ships that are identical. We can easily move you from ship to ship if we run into a problem. We are probably the best cruise line and the best equipped to handle high and low water situations. You may have to do a ship swap, but it's a very simple process. And I would say, don't let water levels stop you from going on this trip. We can never control the weather. And I always say that travel is an adventure. You have to expect the unexpected. And that's what makes for great stories. So if you stay open and you're willing to take it for what it is, I will tell you that Viking will look after you. We can't guarantee water. We can't guarantee sunshine in Hawaii either. So we just have to go and enjoy the work and enjoy the experience.
I've been telling people, if you want to travel now, you have to pack two things: your patience and your flexibility. You definitely need to have both. Kim, there's a lot happening in terms of oil pricing going up. Do you think that's going to affect the cost of cruises?
You know what, it's hard. I'm not in a position to answer that, but I will tell you that Viking has, our ships run on hybrid engines. We do our best to reduce our fuel consumption, and we have solar panels that help generate electricity for our ships, all of our ships. And we have the most efficient engine systems on all of our ocean ships to ensure that we make, we create the smallest carbon footprint that we possibly can. Fuel surcharges have come and gone. I've been in this industry for almost 40 years and they come and go. It depends on what's going on. We're going to do our best, but here's another good thing for you is that if you book and you've paid in full, we guarantee that price. So it's unlikely that you'll be tapped with an extra cost, but I can't predict the future. I wish I could, believe me.
Another reason
I'd like to know what's going to happen down the road in the next week.
If we had crystal balls, we would have all invested in Zoom stock years ago.
So true.
Yeah, exactly. You talked about air and air included or reduced air. And if that, I assume that's economy. Do you have options for premium economy and business class?
Yes, we do. So there are, we've been able to negotiate some good upgrade costs. So again, talk to your advisor and they'll be able to get you prices on that. You can also deviate your air. There are fees that we have to pass on from the airlines, and there's no way around that. But if you want some flexibility, you can go in early, you can stay a little bit later. If you need to pick your flight schedule, we have for a small fee, you can do that as well. So we've tried to keep it as flexible as possible, but we are fortunate because we are a large supplier and a large partner for the airlines, and we've been able to get some pretty good pricing for you. And that's another advantage to booking early and also locking in your pricing early.
And I love what you talked about the risk-free guarantee, because the deposits are non-refundable. However, whatever goes into a penalty, if you had to cancel, you can cancel up until that period of time. So that gives, I think that's really nice for people to know too. They need to know that their investment is protected and they're not going to lose any money in this day and age and what we're going through right now.
Yeah,
I think that's all the questions we have. I just want to let everybody know travel is starting. It is time to start thinking, and especially if you're looking at a product like Viking, where it doesn't take much to fill a river cruise ship with 190 passengers, or even an ocean cruise with 980. So we've all been stuck at home for a long time. It's time to dream. It's time to plan. We've got 2022, 2023, 2024. There is no sin in booking more than one trip. So you can plan for this year, next year, and the year after that, because we have all lost a lot of experiences and time to travel. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your past travels, and we so look forward to helping you plan your future trips. Please reach out to your consultants if you have any questions at all. Let us start helping you plan your next dream vacation. Please remember to follow us on Facebook, also to check out our YouTube channel where this and all our other recordings are there, so you can go back and listen to them. Next week, our travel talk will be, it's going to be in 2 weeks on March 24th with Royal Caribbean International. So thank you, Kim, for a wonderful presentation. I appreciate seeing you all the time and all your support and your wonderful product. And thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Call us. We're here to help you plan your next dream vacation. Good night, everybody.